it's going to take like a minute for the stream to start. And for
It's all
people to
good.
see it.
Blake, did you get a small shirt, by the way?
No, I got a large.
Oh, you got your AG shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Squid just got them today.
Wait, I'm gonna tell Mom!
I looked at the small. Well, that's a small one. I hope the cow is a tiny Asian.
I'm gonna tell Mom.
He might be.
All right, so it looks like things are working. So welcome everyone. Welcome.
Stream up and ready?
Alright, so this looks pretty good. I'm going to start. So this is going to be my 8th weekly dispenser, and the idea is to do the show for, you know, probably all skill levels, but really to help out the newer and less experienced players and help them to find resources through like this kind of web content through these websites, and learning about TF2 and how to get better at TF2 as a player. Today, to help me and Mumble, thankfully, I got two guys from AG Invite team this season who are going to land. Squid, hi, thanks for coming. Boink, thanks for coming. I'm gonna put it on.
Thanks for
Hello.
having us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, so like I was telling these guys just a second ago, this is my first time doing this, so if I screw up all this like, you know, visual shit, whatever. But we're just gonna do the interview and just talk and, you know, hopefully pick your brains, learn some stuff. I know you guys just finished, you know, the Invite regular season, and now you're getting ready to go to LAN, so you guys are definitely busy, I'm sure, as we found out. But I'm thankful that you guys got to spend some time here. So yeah. Hi, and thanks for coming. So I'll just start.
Okay.
So I'll try to like, you know, make it open-ended, but usually these are for both of you guys. So whoever wants to go first or whatever, doesn't really matter. But let's start. So like, when did you start playing TF2? And when was your first season? Who was your first team, and like what class did you start on? Who wants to go?
Squid, do you want to go first? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's funny you mention that because someone linked me to a competitive Team Fortress wiki, and I'm not sure who's making that, but it has a page for the pug group that I like first started playing with, and it has a listing like notable alumni, and like me and Z-Clips and a couple players from Vector are there. Because we started off like just pubbing on Turbine, and eventually we made some like scrim teams. I don't really remember how much we knew about the game. Like I don't remember if they were like 6 people teams and what classes they used. But I got drafted onto the B team. I wasn't on the A team, which actually worked out because the A team ended up not really going into 66, but the B team did, so I kind of got my way in there. And I was actually on a team with Schwan, who, as some of you may know, was the pocket soldier for Vector. Not this season, but last season, yeah.
Yep.
So that was kind of my debut team.
And you were a scout back then, right? So you always played scout?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sweet. So how about you, Boink?
I started off like forever ago, and I kept switching what class I made. I think I started off in like TF2 lobby, and I was like a demo and a medic. And then I played like I was backup for a med on a team eventually on my first season of ESA, which is like season 8. And I switched to soldier like mid-season after that team died. And I've been soldier pretty much the entire time except for half of the season. The way I got into competitive was mostly like me and a couple friends from a pub. We just like we saw something about LAN or somebody met someone that like knew about it. So we watched like some old LAN with it was complexity when they had Solid Snake and everybody. So that was like the first competitive TF2 I've ever watched. And then we just became really interested in it and just got in from there.
I remember that season. That was definitely a great lane to watch because that team was so stacked, and with all the frags going on, I can see how you can get drawn into it.
Yeah, it was really exciting too.
So, why? So now, like, if you do play other games, or maybe if you don't, like, why do you choose TF2? Like, what is it about TF2 that keeps you coming back? And what is it specifically about Scout or Soldier that, like, you really enjoy playing, or like why it's so addictive, so much fun to play, and so much fun for you guys to learn at a high level?
Well, I was actually on a League of Legends team for a little while. And
Truth comes out.
and I do play a lot of League of Legends, and I play a bit of Dota and stuff. So I definitely like to play MOBAs especially. But I always end up like coming back to TF2 just because I don't know. It's like the game that I know, and I'm all right at it, and I really like, for Scout at least, I really like the movement. Like it's very, I don't know, it's just very fun. The game is very fluid, and it's definitely a lot of fun to play. So I always love that about the game.
Yeah, it is fun. Boink, how about you?
I've made so many friends from TF2. Like, whether it was back when I was only a pubber or, like, how I've met people through competitive play, but, like, so many people I enjoy playing other games with play TF2, and, like, even if I play another game, I usually play with those same people. So, like, it's just, like, the people of TF2 that keep bringing me back, because the community is filled with pretty good people.
And I think that's why our game gets a good rep for having a good community, is because it's such a team-based game. Like, you have to have this 6v6, the 6-team family, and you have to learn to get along with everyone, and that kind of, grows into a good community, I think.
Yeah, like, you have to have, like, a good personality in order to get far in this game. For the most part. Or you just have to be really good. But, I don't know, I think it makes sure people are tolerable and are good people. Like, this community is pretty small, so if someone messes up, people know about it.
Yeah, that too. That kind of, yeah. And if you get a bad name, that can kind of set you back a little bit. But
exactly.
If you're a good hard worker and you don't make fun of everyone or troll people, you'll do okay. It's not that hard.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that was a good answer for both of you guys. Thanks. So for the next one. This more, like, I'd like to think of this from the flank perspective, because if I'm playing roaming soldier right now, I like to play pocket soldier sometimes, but when I'm looking at it from the flank perspective, like, say if you're scout squid and you're trying out a roaming soldier, like, what are you looking for in a roaming soldier, or like to work that flank really well, and vice versa? It's gonna switch on you.
Well, going into this season, our team in particular had a lot of success actually using me on Ubers and like playing with the combo a lot, so I wasn't.
So you're more with the medic.
I wasn't the flank man to begin with, and it was really nice to have kind of a roamer who's very self-sufficient. Like Point is very, he sets up his own plays, he gets his own kills and stuff, which is great. And now that everyone's starting to use the quick fix. Actually, I don't know if everyone's starting to use it. I just know that the LAN teams are starting to use it. I haven't seen the intermediate playoffs. So it'd be interesting to see if they're using it or not. But now that the quick fix is seeing a lot of play, there isn't really as much room to have a scout with the combo, so I've been trying to climb the flank more and more. So
Good to know.
yeah,
So taking less heals and not necessarily interrupting the medic.
yeah, just finding a way to be effective without really disrupting the team strategy overall is really handy.
All right, so now this is for Boink. Like, say you're playing with an aggressive scout. Like, what are you looking for in an aggressive scout who might be on the flank with you, not necessarily playing pocket scout?
Well, I know Kapow and I play a lot together, and it's really cool whenever I bomb something, do some damage, I call the damage I do, and all of a sudden he kills it. Like, it's just really good to have that type of coordination. He relies on my calls to do damage, and he finishes up what maybe I couldn't have finished up. So, like, I really want someone who like, works well off of comms and stuff like that.
Definitely, that's good to hear. It's good when a scout can do that, can play off the calls of the damage.
Which is funny that Boink mentioned that because I don't think either of our scouts make very good calls.
Well, I mean, in that case, you're not necessarily calling, the roamer's calling, and you're just going and chasing, maybe. But whatever. Okay, so thanks, Boink. On to the next question. What was your biggest surprise for both of you guys in Invite this season?
Biggest surprise?
Regular season. I'll stick to obviously.
Okay, so this season, what was the biggest surprise?
Yeah.
Maybe just the amount of roster shakeups that happened, and maybe some of the starters like weren't necessarily the best at their position or whatever, but definitely like I guess that happens a lot of seasons, but you usually don't see it in the top teams where the roster changes as significantly as it did this season. Like if you look at like Mix Up or Tryhard, both of their roster changed pretty dramatically. Like
yeah,
mid-season.
even Sean Bud's team had Carnage at the beginning.
Exactly.
And, like everyone's team has changed.
And Solace
Yeah.
too. Like everyone from the very beginning had their roster changed, except for like the few teams. But it was mostly just everyone had.
But you
roster
guys stuck
issues
together,
or
right?
whatever.
You guys had the
Yep.
same 6 level
We had
season.
all 6 the entire
Nice.
season.
And you think, did that help you?
That definitely did. They're just replacing someone mid-season. It's
Yeah,
definitely not.
That's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
So Squid, how about you?
Biggest surprise would be probably how well Solace was playing, or improving throughout the season. And I don't mean that in like, wow, I'm surprised that these guys are doing well. You know, I don't mean it like as if I expected them to do poorly, but I thought that they were playing like really, really, really well. Close to the end of the season, they almost beat us on Gully, and then they had a great Viaduct week as well. So I think they definitely came into their element in terms of improving as a team, and it, you know, who knows if they stick together next season, they definitely are going to be in contention for land.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I like kind of the grassroots Invite teams getting a chance, like even you guys and the lower teams that don't necessarily stick around, aren't always in the top 3 every season. I always root for the underdogs. So, thanks, Squid. How about for this next one? So this will be like class specific. Like, so for Squid, like, who do you think his team has the best scout pair in Invite this season?
I don't know.
You know.
There's definitely, I don't know. There's definitely a case to be made for every team. I think a lot of teams have like one particularly strong scout, and then maybe a scout who isn't as strong. Like I know Madmen, and you know, no offense to Seymour, I didn't really get a good chance to see him play. We didn't play them after he joined the team, but I think Mike especially was like playing really, really, really well all season. And you know, Clockwork is playing really well. Enigma and Moose kind of had a shaky season, I think, but they've definitely been playing way better in the off season. So, you know, expect them to do well on land. I don't know. It's hard to say.
So is that your answer? It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think every team has merits to their scouts. So
I understand. So maybe this was too bold of a question to ask. But Blank, how about you? Could you do it? Could you answer? Who's the best roamer in Invite this season from your perspective?
The best roamer.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because the top four, the roamers going to land, right? You have Tag,
Yeah.
you have Hardblue, me, and Blaze. So I know all of them have been around for a while. Tag's really good at he plays a passive style. So he plays passively to complement his team, and it works well for him and his team. You have Blaze who just out DMs everything. So he's really good with DM wise, but I know a lot of the time his ping or he just wasn't there sometimes because he had real life issues or whatever. And then you have Hart as his normal distraction, off class nonsense. So I think they're all good, and they all play differently. And I don't think roamer's a one-dimensional thing where you can say that this is the best out of anything. It's too people have different styles that work with their team,
true.
so you can't really call one better than the other.
And that's probably what Squid was kind of getting at, where it's hard to say.
Yeah, exactly. You can't call one better than the other because maybe if you swapped the teams or you swapped the roamers or whatever, things would be a lot different. They wouldn't get to play like they can on their team. It just won't work out as well.
Sweet. All right, so let's go to the next one because that was a good answer. Thanks. Let's do. What was your favorite match from the regular season from your team perspective?
Probably the 5-2 versus Mix Up. Just because, when we won against Mix Up on Badlands, because that was we had a rough beginning of the season and people were kind of doubting us and stuff like that. And then to come out and just we played really well against Mix Up and we won pretty easily.
Yeah,
that
it's
game.
Badlands too, which you think the more experienced
Mix Up
teams
should
would,
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it makes a statement for the rest of the season if you come out and beat Mix Up like that. Especially a team that's been around for so long and is supposed to be at the very top. And it was just a really good statement for us, and it helped us carry momentum through the rest of the season.
Sweet. Squid?
I'm looking at the schedule right now. I don't know. I think it would probably be a tie between our 5-4 win over Runaway 5 and our 5-4 win over Solace and our 4-5 loss against Madmen. Because I think those were three really close games, and they kind of I don't know, they just keep things in perspective for us. We're going into week 6, and we're winning 5-4 against a 6th or 7th place team, and we're trying to make land. It kind of reminds me, hey, you got to keep working. You're not there yet, and the 5-4 loss to Madmen. Snakewater is a terrible map for us, and we got some good information out of that match. I was able to watch the demo at least and pick up on some mistakes we were making. So it's nice to walk away from a match learning something, if nothing else. So I think I'll probably give those three a three-way tie.
So putting in a loss, pretty good. Many of you. Appreciate it. So for it's almost been 20 minutes now, but I've got a couple left. So let's see, what are the good ones? Okay, so let's talk about your medic Indust. So what do you think of Indust? And do you think his, going from open to invite immediately, do you think it hurt him, or do you think it's not a factor?
Well, we definitely had some issues, at least closer to the start of the season, where he would get close to Uber and then start leading our players and just dying because, if you're 95% and you're running in front of your pocket soldier, he's not gonna be able to protect you. So, and he told us that was a habit he picked up from playing with players who didn't necessarily know when to push in and stuff, but I think you have to have confidence at this level that your teammates, can make decisions for themselves and for the team, and you have to let everybody fall into their own role. So that was problematic. But I think he's come a long way, and he's a really good medic.
And if you think about it,
he
did make LAN playoffs his first season, so it's pretty good. And if he, performs well at LAN, I think everyone's going to give him a nice pat on the back. As well as all of you guys. Yeah, definitely. So Squid answered that. Boink, you're the roamer. You may not necessarily be with the medic all the time, but I think that's good. He answered it.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. I can't disagree
all
with
right,
that.
so this will be like the last. I'm not gonna go into the LAN specifics because you guys already had that all, and Fully Charged is gonna be on soon. But I want to know, what do you guys think about the future for competitive TF2, and specifically what do you think it's? Do you think it's? What do you think it needs to grow, or do you think? What do you think of this? Main and also the Euro ESCA. Do you think these big expansions are going to help the game, or do you think that we're kind of always going to be this kind of sideshow gaming community? What do you think?
I think that, I don't know, TF2 has always been slowly growing over time. So any attempt to help it grow, such as a main division or any I think ESEA is making a big step if the Euro system works, because I think a global league brings in more than just a league for a country or a continent. The fact that there's more teams competing, it draws more of an interest into the game. So I think that that's going to help with the numbers growing, and I don't know, everything has been growing a lot, whether it's streaming or just teams or in general. I think it's going pretty well for us so far. So hopefully it just keeps continuing to grow.
Squid, how about you?
The main division especially is a little worrying, because IM hasn't really had a history of having too many strong teams season after season. I don't know how many IM teams are there
teams that stay together. Yeah, I know.
How many IM teams are there that were low IM 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago that are still working their way up the ladder? Probably one, maybe. And a main division is kind of a way of having 2 dying divisions instead of 1. Maybe I have seen the IM standings, and it's definitely been a lot more competitive. So maybe it is a good time for it, and I hope it is. But you just have to look at what's happened to the division in the past, and wonder are IM or open teams going to keep filing into IM and dying, and IM team filing into main and dying? Because that's the worst. That's you don't want to have a 16-team division with 9 active teams halfway through the season.
Yeah, and good thing that we have a few good sponsors like AG.
AG's amazing.
Yeah,
Best
AG
sponsor
has
TF2
been
for sure.
incredible to us. So big props to them.
Yeah, so maybe this is a good time. So I'll like to conclude, and if you guys want shout outs or any thanks, go.
Sure. Well, thanks to Mayor McCheese for helping us with the t-shirts. He got those sent on their way, and they've since come in. Thanks to Nahani for really sorting things out for LAN for us, which has been great. It's so nice to have the support of someone like that. And thanks to Mio and Relic for also helping out in different capacities. Like Mio is a co-owner of AG, and Relic is going to be our manager at LAN, I guess, or our AG representative. So, the pieces are coming together, and everyone's done their part. So, thanks everyone for that.
Sweet, thanks. Boink, how about you?
Definitely a big shout out to everyone, as Squid mentioned, such as Mayor McCheese. The shirts look really awesome, and I'm happy that we actually got AG shirts. I don't think it would have been possible without him. So thank you very much. Thanks to Nahani, Mew, Bump Diggity, Relic, like everyone else, AG as well. They've been a fantastic sponsor, and I have no complaints with them. They're really great people as well.
Yeah, well, definitely I'm going to be rooting for you guys at LAN. Like, I want to see you guys definitely win. And then you guys go to Europe, right? If you do technically win, so that'd be pretty sweet. And then I can wear my AG shirt for like a month straight and be the coolest kid in black.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, so thanks, guys, for coming. I'm going to end it here. It's been like 30 minutes. Perfect timing. Thanks for everything.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
Bye.